they deliver here. Chris, if we go back to our theme, common principles for success in shared services, and the things you've encountered today in your experience.
Right. The question could be applied to common principles whilst designing and building, or common principles whilst operating. And I'm going to offer one example of each from my sort of bitter experience over the years. In designing and building, I think the principle of separation of the demand side from the supply side is really, really helpful, and it's not always done. By which I mean, if you take the demand, which are who wants to go into shared services, and focus that demand side on their requirements rather than the solution. So what do you want from shared services in terms of, I want my invoices to be processed, I want this to happen, that to happen. Not at all on how that service is going to be delivered. And then focus on the supply side separately to say, right, that's the requirement, how are we going to supply and deliver to this requirement? I see so many shared services projects really getting bogged down in getting agreement in terms of people sharing, because they can't agree the solution. It's nothing at all to deciding what the requirement is. And if you can make that separation, I'm sure that there'll be much more sort of speed to value and far less discussion around it. It's quite a hard thing to do, though. It's quite hard to say to people, don't you worry about how this thing's going to get delivered. We'll worry about that. We'll worry about the process models and developing the organisation. Just tell us what your requirements are. It's quite hard to do, but that's the principle. In managing, and this is from bitter experience with Centrica, you cannot manage your customer enough. And that's at all levels. At director level, and Steve, probably you may well have something to add to this, but at director level,